right, good evening, everyone. It's nice to catch up again. Nice to catch up with Brian. How have you been?
I'm all right. No, it's just I hadn't seen you in a while. You look a tiny bit older, but you look fantastic. I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. You're not 25 yet. I don't know. No, or 98. Are you 25?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, it's great to meet up again. And after all, the Masterminds experience was absolutely amazing. We held a show previously, and I thought, why not hold another one? And this is going to be an even better show. I mean, it was definitely a privilege to come across a lot of not just cool, but a lot of interesting folks on and none other than my competitor is going to join us in a few minutes.
That's fantastic. I mean, she did better than you, but you still kept in touch with her. That's a credit. That's a credit to you.
Honestly, see, I got to live and learn from those who've done better than I have. I mean, that's the best way of improvement, if you
Right.
ask me. Yeah.
No, but in fairness, like Jeopardy or Masterminds, I sit on the couch, I yell at the answers. You told in person with the lights and everything. It's
Yeah.
it's a different experience, correct?
Hmm. Yep, and we're going to learn about it now as we add in the rest of our gang. We're going to add in Chandler, who's not yet on camera, I
Oh,
guess.
sorry.
And we're going to add our special guest. Let's put our hands together for Beth. So we're going to start off with Beth. First of all, how have you been? And it's so nice to catch up after such a long time. Sorry, I can't hear you. I need you to turn your mic on. Still got nothing. Oh, you want to say something real quick just to see if it's yeah.
Definitely, it might work now. No.
Still nothing. Yeah. Maybe check your headphones. Yeah. Okay. I mean, worst case, we can just use the computer audio.
You should have done this on the show and pulled her microphone. You might have been able to beat her.
Oh. Still can't hear. Okay. Okay. As we wait for Beth to rejoin. I think, we can recap on Masterminds. It was, quite the hectic day. I think she's back now. Anyway.
Abai is crushed.
Maybe try joining through your phone. I mean, it's I don't know, but yeah, it's starting at 6 a.m. and just impatiently waiting until the ultimate episode. I mean, it was quite the experience. I mean, playing cards alongside some future contestants, as well as coming across quite a few who played on Jeopardy as well. That was unbelievable.
Well, they took your phone, so it was like 1978. You had to play cards and read the newspaper. What was there to do?
Yeah, but there was actually there was quite an advantage for that. Can you spend several hours without having access to your phone?
No,
and if you can, that's a good thing.
No, it's not. You have to play tally up.
I've lost it on that game, and yeah. Hang on just a second here. Okay.
Maybe it was Chi Hung. He knew something.
Trying to see if I can find something through Google.
But remember, you and I, Ferg, we had that issue. No, who was it? You and I? Yes. Remember yes, in one of ours, and it took me forever to figure out what the issue was. You had to send me something.
Yeah, but this is a different platform, so I'm trying to.
All right, let's try that again.
No.
Shoot.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think. Is there a way without the headphones, just using the
Yeah,
computer?
maybe just try using the computer audio. I mean, at this stage, it's not really looking
There's an option
looking
on
very promising.
On mine, there's an option in this. I think the wild thing is she can hear us. Maybe.
Wait, Beth, you're able to hear what we're saying, right?
Maybe not anymore because she just took it off.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Still no luck?
I can hear you now.
Oh,
I
there we
can hear you.
go.
There we
There
go.
we go.
There we go. Okay.
What
Except
did
I
you
can only
do?
hear you through my headphone. I just put the through my speaker, but I can only hear you through the headphones. But that it works for some reason.
Yeah. You know
All
what
right.
we should
Well,
do?
now
Should
we can do the formal introduction. So it's
Could you edit it, or should we start over? Well, what do you think about it?
yeah.
We're good.
I'll edit it out. No worries.
Okay. All right. So just pretend like we're starting right here. Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's great to catch up again on Masterminds. I mean, I already previously held a show on it not too long ago, so I thought, why not hold another show? And I've got none other than one of my competitors, Beth. So it's nice to catch up after so many months. Beth, how have you been?
Yes, I've been great, and I'm so glad that you found me on Instagram. It was a great experience for me.
Yeah. I mean, it just coming across not just a lot of cool people, but a lot of interesting people in that one day. It was an absolute blast. I mean, definitely learned a lot, even though may not have been my greatest performance on the show, but you did well. I mean, I saw the rest of the show. So first thing I want to ask is what were your ways to prepare for Masterminds like before you arrived at the scene?
I didn't really prepare that much, so I was like surprised. I tell people I was very surprised when I got there and you had asked, and I forget the name of our competitor, the one that won.
Drew.
Yeah. Drew and I were kind of like, wow, people prepared for this. And I, I read a lot and I'm always kind of aware of popular culture and everything. So I thought that, I tried out on a kind of like a whim. I had tried out for game shows before in the past and I had made it to the singing bee, but then they changed to a country format. So I'm very good at lyrics and trivia, but I think I saw an ad for it or something. And then I thought I'm just going to try it out. And I did. And I made it through the audition process and then we went that day. But it was so fascinating to see the range of people. And anytime I've tried out for a game show, to me, it's kind of like jury duty. It's like this group of people. That's like, for me, it's as exciting as, being on the show. It's like getting to meet different people that you might not from different walks of life and having that experience. And I'm up to do it again. So I'm always looking for something.
Wait, Beth, do you watch Split Second by any chance?
Yes, I used to. Yeah. Back in the day.
The new season, it's airing right now, Monday to Thursday on Game Show Network.
Oh.
And the icing on the cake is they're casting for the next season.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm going to check it out. I'm definitely going to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
There was one with Niecy May that was kind of like a lyrics one. I forget what it was called. And then I think it wasn't taping. It went to hiatus or something. And I was thinking of trying out for that one because I think you can choose. It's just, you're not competing against each other. I think you're only the only person on it. And then you have to pick your decade. That's when I looked it up, I thought it was that. And I thought
it's Don't Forget the Lyrics, right?
I think maybe it is. That was like an older show. And then maybe they rebooted it.
Yeah, so I do remember watching like a handful of episodes when Wayne Brady was hosting it. I mean, that was pretty fun. I mean, if I had to describe it, it's like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and if you marry that concept with karaoke singing, you get Don't Forget the Lyrics, right?
Yeah.
And you sort of have lifelines, like you can ask for like one extra word, you can get help from a friend or something along those lines. But yeah, it's not a show I've watched like on a regular basis, but it was pretty fun.
Yeah. To me, the thing that caught me up was at the end, the timing of the button, because every time I would think like, I know the answer, but then he would get in on the button because he was like a baseball player. I think maybe it was the athletic part of him, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not slow on the button here. I should have practiced the button more. Maybe that's the trick that I have to do.
On the masterminds. Yeah, because that's what they say about Jeopardy.
Yes, because you're
yeah,
you have to have
okay.
that trigger finger. You have to be ready with the trigger
Yeah.
finger, but not too soon. And then he was like undercutting me. He's like,
no, I remember that episode. Yeah, exactly. So there would have been some that you knew that he got in just to, oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, so you're frustrated. I mean, I was kind of like, and then he would just get in on ahead of me, and I was because when you're writing it down or you're doing it, you know, the stakes are higher kind of at the end, and you're also just the way it is. I was like thinking, and then I forgot about the button. Right. I was like, oh, I got that, but then
okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to the buzzing, you got to wait for the host to fully read the whole thing, right?
Yes. And he was like, boom, boom, boom. He was like ready to roll. He was probably, you know what? He was probably like a gamer, right? So, and I wasn't really, aside from like Miss Pac-Man or whatever. So he was kind of like, oh.
You know, whenever I watch Jeopardy, I mean, I used to do this, but whenever Alex read out the clue, I had a pen in my hand and I click it right after, like a buzzer practice. I mean, Jeopardy is still the dream. I mean, I'm hoping to get on there at some stage, but yeah, I think like a more unforgiving game show like Masterminds, I think that's like the ideal means to prepare for something like potentially even more competitive, more difficult, like Jeopardy or The Chase. I mean, yeah.
I think you'll get there. I have confidence you'll get on Jeopardy.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with somebody years ago who was on Jeopardy, and I also worked with somebody who was a question writer on Jeopardy years ago, which I thought was a very interesting job. Many years ago, yeah. So that was his job. And I was like, oh my God, that's like the dream job, right? To be on the other side of it. There were a number of people in our day our shooting day that had been on Jeopardy. We had that one guy that was telling people that he had a whole thing where he was coaching people. Remember that guy?
David?
Far from us.
Dave Maybury?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. The interesting thing is, I think I came across him on Twitter prior to seeing him in Masterminds, and then after Masterminds, he kind of hooked me up with his old Jeopardy thing he does, and it looks like he knows so many people in the Jeopardy verse, as I like to call it.
Wow.
Jeopardy universe. So yeah, it's. I got to know a lot of cool people, and I've actually taken part in some of his beta test games. I mean, he's very skilled in what he does.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think his result on Jeopardy truly reflects like his trivia aptitude per se.
Mm.
Like I think he finished third and on Jeopardy, but he won on his episode. And I don't think he was able to defend his title, but still, like winning 11 grand, making it to the bonus round twice, it's a tremendous achievement. Yeah.
There was another guy who I believe went maybe to the second episode. You know, in Masterminds, how you could do the first episode, and then if you won against the Masters, then you went on to the next episode. There was a guy, I can't think of his name right now, but he was up like on the right-hand side of the room, and I saw him come back to change his clothing, and he had won like $56,000 on Jeopardy.
I think that's Aaron Craig. I think that's
Aaron Craig. Yes.
Yeah. Interesting thing is, like my photographic memory with a lot of these Jeopardy contestants, I'm like, ooh, I see a very familiar face. I mean, it's I tend to be very good with recognizing faces.
Yeah, and names, which is that's really a hard thing to recognize their name. Because I remember I just looked up his name, like some of the name cards as I was leaving. And I thought I'm going to look up some of these people and see what their deal is. I think I might have taken a picture with my phone once I got my phone back. That was the hardest thing, not having your phone all day.
True.
And what did you do?
They collected all the phones.
I know that.
I left my phone in the car. I left my phone in the car because I needed my phone to get there.
Right.
And I didn't want to be without my phone when I left necessarily. And I left it in my glove box, but then they were collecting the phones because we were in this room all day because they were shooting the whole, I think they shot for maybe like a week, right? They were shooting for a week and they jam-packed us. We were there at like 6 a.m. We had to get a COVID test, and then we were there all day, and they gave us lunch, and we really couldn't leave. And we were like at these tables for hours. We were there for a long time because we didn't go till the end, and then they rehearsed us. they gave us like, we had to come up with like different things about ourselves to introduce that were compelling. And then they picked one, and that's the one they chose for us when they introduced us, the story. And then we had to rehearse that. And then we did like a guest, like a, practice round or two, but we basically waited all day we were there for like until like 5 o'clock or something. And I think I got there at like 6 a.m. So
Yeah.
it was a very long day.
Well,
The first thing I did when I got there, I drank a cold brew, one of those Kirkland colds. I mean, I was like, literally anything that's going to keep me awake for as long as possible, because I want to be able to concentrate, and I want to be able to, play my A+ or closest A+ game as I possibly can.
And we didn't know. We had no idea when we were going either, right? Until we saw people going, and then we figured out we were towards the end. We had a few people groups after us, but and then they brought us in to like watch the taping of the people prior to us. So we were like off to the side, and then people were watching us, when we were going. But we were towards the end, so we were there a long time, and then you're kind of anticipating it all day. Am I going to be able to? I kept thinking, am I going to screw up my introduction? Because I was like, what did I tell them, and what order?
I think Brian had a question. Or what were you going to say?
Oh no, I just had a joke 5 minutes ago that you need a Jeopardy category, name these Jeopardy contestants, and then you would ace it. They put up a photo of a Jeopardy contestant, everybody else wouldn't buzz in, you would buzz in. No, but you were mentioning the day. For me, I think I have been blacklisted from masterminds because I'm up here in NorCal, and I went through the process with the Zoom, and I got through it. And they wanted me to pick the wardrobe, and then they said I got to pick a week in June, and then I thought about it, the flight, the hotel, and they even had some asterisk that you might not even get on the show, and so I politely said no. And I think I'm dead to them now. They didn't respond to that. But my point being, I think, Beth, you live in the LA area.
Yeah, I live in Thousand Oaks, which is not that far.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
Yeah. Chandler's in Simi Valley. But the point being is you can just drive there. It is a pain at 6 a.m, but you can just drive home there. You could be at as many game shows as possible. I mean, living in LA is the way to go. And the final thing I'll let other people talk. One thing I specifically remember about your show, I would have been very upset if I got on a flight and they asked me about Japanese breakfast.
I had read that book a few months earlier. Do you know that I had read that book, and I was like, I can't believe I read this book. And then I was very into Korean dramas. I like Korean dramas and Korean culture. So it just happened to be that I read that book, and I was like, oh my God, it's something I definitely know.
That's probably why you beat by with Japanese breakfast.
But it was just one of those cosmic. I think you don't get the sort of a list of the topics. Somebody told me the categories on Jeopardy prior.
Yeah, just
so
like that.
It's
totally blind. So I mean,
so you don't get a list, so you just have to. It could be anything. The categories.
Yeah, at least as far as I'm aware. I mean, from the conversations I've had.
Interesting.
I saw Ferg was having a bit of a chuckle when Japanese breakfast was mentioned. What do you got to say?
Man, it's not that I really have much to say. It's that like that is Brian's sticking point, is that Japanese breakfast question. Like, I think I remember in the first one of these we filmed, he was all over about how you went through all this all this prep work, you went through all this studying, only to have Japanese breakfast be something you needed to know, which it's just ironic to me. That's all. It's just ironic.
Yeah. And it's actually proven. Beth said she didn't study, and she knew Japanese breakfast just because she read the book. She didn't even know it was good. It's crazy how life works,
It is, because it's luck on the draw. Part of it's luck. A lot of it is luck, really. What you're presented with. Opportunity, right? Is like you're preparing. So when the opportunity hits, or luck is what you think of as luck.
No.
I mean, next time I will prepare, but
maybe don't prepare.
Maybe not, but it's kind of like that dream you have where you're like you're in the high school and you're like, where is the room? I haven't been to this class at all. The finals today, and I don't know where the room is, and I never studied, and I've never been to this class before.
And that's on the first. It's multiple choice, and then you have to write the answer. The multiple choice, they gave you a few seconds, and how long do you have to write the answer on those?
I think it's 30 seconds all across.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
There is a time limit They don't really enforce it apparently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, do you have to
Yeah.
spell it correctly? I mean, are you writing it because that's the thing. That's the thing. I joked if I went down there and he was like you when he came on the show without your microphone. He was mute. They didn't let him say one word. I mean, it was insane. He goes all the way to Los Angeles and they give him an introduction. He smiles and waves, and he literally did not say one word on the show. I mean, it's insane. And so everything they did was buzzing, the multiple choice, and then writing. So how does that work when you write the answer and they tell you what they say? What you have to spell it correctly, or they you have to be close?
I don't remember. I just remember being concerned about my handwriting.
All right, yeah, but I meant they must have been able to read it because they were.
Yes,
for all of them.
I did. I wrote very slowly, so I would have it eligible.
Well, that's also what they do. They show it. They say that they just show who's won. They don't say. They don't show. Okay, I remember that. Okay, yeah.
Well, just in the outside chance, I was like, well, if they're gonna look and see if I spelled it right or whatever, I better have it look good. Yeah, it's very interesting though. It was really a great experience. And then you had to wait a long time. We didn't even know if it was going to be aired really because we didn't hear for months. And then apparently they told us if you won, you might not even get paid unless they air it because they won't get the money from the advertisers.
Well, actually,
wow.
Yeah, I think most people got their 2-week notice. I think we were the ones I think that had to wait for longer. But then again, I think they weren't like aired in chronological order. Like just because so and so contestant went on the first day, that doesn't mean his or her episode's going to be airing like on it won't be like the pilot episode of the new season, right? Yeah,
it's not in order. Yeah, are they tape? I wonder if are they taping again now?
They finished taping.
They finished taping
in June.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I think there'll be more episodes in September. So your only hope now is a rerun.
I think I would say several times a week I get notices from that casting company, emails from that casting company. It's actually mostly for reality shows, and they're very random. Like the topics are extremely random, like just
Beth
like
on Love Island.
Three sisters who it's like 3 sisters who are single, like really, and live in Dallas or whatever.
If one of them is Big Brother, let Ferg know. He loves Big Brother.
Yeah, I kind of think they're kind of a little more like low budget or something. They're not anything that I ever heard of. And I don't watch reality shows, but I'm just like never heard of that. I think they're just trying to get like pilots off the ground.
Right. No, but that is interesting what you said about the Jeopardy. If you're on Jeopardy, you're going to get paid because the episode's going to air. On this one, they don't pay you until it airs or something like that because of the advertising. Another loophole. So I'm very glad I did not get on that flight and go. Well, I would have lost to begin with, so it wouldn't have mattered. But
I mean, Jeopardy, is on a network, right? So they probably get the money. This is on because if it's on cable, they may not get. That's a different kind of structure to it. So maybe it's different.
Yeah, I would think so.
The way they have it, like financially, they're not going to have the same kind of resources because we were like literally in this. Like I was like. They were like, we're going to give you lunch. And we're just like, okay, it's Subway.
I mean, to be fair, the Subway was not bad.
It was fine. I mean, I didn't eat like.
You're too kind. Subway is not good.
No, I was thinking a little bit because they asked,
No, Subway is.
I was like, I'm kind of hungry. I'm going for the Diet Coke.
Subway is what they gave to like 6th graders on a field trip or something.
Yeah. So I was like, you got Quizmos at least or something.
Yeah. Oh, but
they could have upped it a little bit.
Right.
So clearly it was a little bit of a low budget situation.
Going back to your phone, did they believe your phone was in the car and did you have to go get it or did they I guess
no, I didn't get it till the end. It was in the instructions to leave your phone in the car or
not in the car. I got you.
I left it in my glove box because I needed to have the
Right.
directions. I didn't want to leave my phone at home really, so I left
it
in my glove compartment, and then I was worried because I thought, what if someone breaks into the car? I was a little concerned about that. But then I saw people, giving their phone at the front table to the people. That
it could be the ultimate scam. You can't bring your phone in, and they steal your phone from your car.
Yes, so I've had my phone stolen from my car, so I had like PTSD about it. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to go back and my phone won't be there. But I had locked it up, and I'm sure there was security.
So you met Abai there in person. Abai does what he does on the internet. What he walks around the room meeting everybody. How did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought we were like they put us at because of COVID restrictions. I guess they put us like two at a table, but then and then after, so you were just kind of like talking to the people around you, and then people started circulating after a while because we were there for so long. So you got to know a lot of people, and a lot of people came to talk to David. Right? They were like a lot of people are milling about him to find out his secrets to success.
He's like the life of the party.
Yeah.
Who's David?
The guy with the Jeopardy Twitter thing.
Oh, okay.
Like a coach, Jeopardy coach.
Right.
And he didn't win, right? Because he came back. He pretty shot. He
no,
shot out of there.
he
He came
won.
back and then he kind of shot out of there really fast without saying goodbye. Do you think he
Well,
won?
Abai thinks he won.
Really?
No, he did win one show, and then he came back
Oh.
again, and then he made it to the bonus round for the second time,
Oh.
but he didn't win. So
Because
that's
at one
11,000.
point, because I saw him I just noticed that he just like took off. Like I wasn't aware of where he was, and he just like ran out of there. And I thought, well, he must have.
And
That's
then
good.
what's
Did
the
he won? Did
taping
you think he
like
won
there?
money? So then, would he have won? Did you think he won money?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, good.
And
I wonder how many people won that were there.
as far as I'm aware, two, but yeah, pretty sure it's two.
So it was the guy, the guy that you not Drew, but the other, well, against the mastermind. So the one that was on Jeopardy, the one that he
Both
won.
guys
and
on
then-
Jeopardy. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it seemed to me there were a number of people there that had been on Jeopardy, or maybe it was just the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
It seems kind of like a natural. It's interesting that they would go on Jeopardy first and then come on this show. No,
Mm-hmm.
like you would think it was kind of like that you're getting like your feet wet and then you go on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But I guess you can't go on Jeopardy again, so you're kind of like looking for some other options.
Yeah, they did it in reverse.
Slumming
You're
it. No.
Yeah, exactly. They were there for the Subway sandwiches.
Probably.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, are you going to be on another game show? Or you have any plans to go to another game show?
Yeah. Well, let's see. I'm mulling over split second, but at the same time, I'm keeping my options open. Yeah, maybe Jeopardy, maybe the Chase if they're gonna be casting for a new season. I mean, I think this last season of the Chase was excellent. I mean, the Chasers got they got beaten quite a few times. I don't know if you saw last Thursday's episode. That was brilliant. It was it was a very stressful final chase.
That's great.
Yeah,
It's fun.
How
long have you been into game shows? How long have you been?
Oh, okay. So this goes back to like let's see, 2004. I mean, my parents used to watch Jeopardy on a regular basis. I mean, whenever I got back from school, I used to see mom and dad working on crosswords. So that's how I got interested in crosswords. And then it was Jeopardy, and then that's how I got into Jeopardy. And I took the game show thing to a wholly new level. So I was watching Millionaire, I was watching Chain Reaction, a bunch of other shows. I tried to get my parents interested to some extent. They did. They watched it alongside me. So here we are now. I mean, finally realized one of my dreams. Not the ideal start, but we all got to start somewhere. That's how.
Yeah, but I give you a lot of credit for really taking it in your own hands and flying down there. I thought that was so impressive that you took the initiative to fly down and put yourself out there. That's great.
You know what? Actually, like a couple months before, it was just a routine day. You know, getting back home from work just before I started driving. I saw this ad on Instagram saying, "Oh, Masterminds is casting for new season," and I was like, I wasn't really thinking too much, and I just filled out the form, and I was like, I wasn't really holding my breath. And then a week later, next thing I know, hi, I'm a casting producer from Game Show Network, Masterminds. Do you have a moment to speak to us? And that's where it all began.
Yeah. You know, when I tried out for the singing bee, you had to shoot like a video of you singing a song. That was the first step. And then you had to send in the video. So that's a little bit unnerving. I had my kids shoot it for me. And then I had to go for the whole day. And then we did all these, we did written tests. It was a whole day thing, the interview process, because we had to do like a bunch of written tests at different rounds. And then you would keep rising up. And then you would have to be obviously, you know, compelling enough and your story compelling enough and your energy level enough. So when you got down to like 5 or 6 people, when those were left after all the quizzes, then they picked, I think, and then I was supposed to be the next one to go on it. except then they changed the format to country, and I was like, yeah, I don't know anything, so I'm not.
You know,
It's like there's no way.
Fast forward to now, and if that was the exact same situation, you could have reached out to me. I can help with a lot of that.
Oh yeah, I would have gone for it then, but I thought, wow, this is a lot because you have to sing and you have to, it was pretty intense. So I thought I was doing it fine. And years ago, I tried out for another game show, and it was like that too, and it was all about like your energy and
What year was this, by the way?
Oh, the Singing Bee must have been around 2006, something like that.
Okay.
I guess.
I mean, I was in
2005.
third grade.
Joey Fatone was like the host, the guy from NSYNC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he
Nice
hosts. Used to host Common Knowledge. If that show rings a bell.
Mm-hmm.
His career has not gone as well as Justin Timberlake.
No, that's for sure. Yeah, that's for sure.
Oh, Beth, Abai doesn't look. He's Mr. Country and Western. I mean, that's his music. And then, what were you hoping?
If they
for,
still
Beth?
had it, then you had a chance. That would have been a good.
Beth, what were you hoping for? Rap?
No. I mean, if I were going to go on, I would say like 70s and 80s would be my.
That's the correct answer. 70s and 80s. Yeah.
I could probably do a little 90s, 2000s.
No.
I listen to a lot of music, but the 70s and 80s would be the sweet spot.
We'd have to cap it at Nirvana about 1991. Nothing after 1991. Okay, so
I can't because when I listen to the music that my kids listen to.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe not recently, but.
No, I'm useless after 1991.
70s and 80s would be the sweet spot, right? Yep. And I think you can. They should actually have that because I think there's a lot of people watching. The target demographic would be good.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that watch it would kind of relate to that. So that would be the 80s are a little more challenging because a lot of the lyrics made no sense.
Yeah.
Especially like alternative or Duran Duran and things like that. They just, that would only be because I listen to music a lot because the lyrics don't have they're nonsensical. So it's a little more challenging. And you think that the lyrics are different. Like in your mind, you're just like, oh, that was not what I thought it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, with like with the whole music thing, I wasn't so much into country music until I think it was my junior or senior year in high school. And then two of my friends were like, "You should really check out this new album by Luke Bryan." And I was like, "Okay, I'll listen to it." And I listened to the whole thing, and I'm like, "How did I not listen to this previously?" And that's where it all began. And coincidentally, one of those friends asked me if I was interested in joining another two of his friends to see Luke Bryan live next weekend. So that's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
You need a Luke Bryan category on Jeopardy.
Well, or honestly, any current country, I'd probably be able to answer it. Yeah.
That's good. I mean, I went to college in Nashville. I spent 4 years in Nashville, and before I left, I was like, oh, maybe I'll like country music, and then I was like, yeah, I don't think so. So I didn't.
Just saying, it's not too late.
I mean, there might be some that it's kind of like a crossover, but not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really gone that route. This one that I was like a holdout or something. But I was in Nashville in the fall. I didn't get to go to any shows or anything because I was at my college reunion, but maybe next time.
That must have been a fun time.
Yeah, it was fun. I wasn't able to really the city's so different from when I graduated from college, and I had not been back there since then, but I didn't really have enough time to really partake in the city because I was like involved with all the activities. I'm going with my reunion. So I'll probably go back sometime. It's so popular to go there now. And people are like, oh, I love it there. But I'm like, oh.
Did you go to Vanderbilt?
Yes. Uh-huh.
See, I got a question right. It wasn't even a question.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's only
and I was like, it just was so, when you've gone away from a place for a very long time and then everything around it's changed, your perception of it, like the campus looked the same and everything around it was like, I don't even recognize this at all. It doesn't even look anything. Am I in the right place? It has grown so much.
Well, maybe next time you go, you can maybe catch up with some old friends around this time of the year and maybe go to CMA Fest.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, I think they held it. Was it in mid-June? I forget the exact date, but yeah, I'm hoping I can go next year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I didn't even get to go to like Broadway, where all the different places are. We drove by it a little bit, but we went to a live show, but it was like a band that we used to see when we were in college, and they were closing this one place that was close to Vanderbilt, this music place that had been there for a long time. But I didn't get to go to any of the places downtown. We just drove by, and that area used to be like you would not go there after dark, like the place where they've developed. Like that was like no, don't go near there. So that was quite different. You know, where all the live music places are, and the bars and everything.
You got to give them credit going from a place, don't go here, to the place to be. That's
I mean, they really, like, I constantly hear from people that are going there for like my friends' kids are going for bachelor parties or bachelorette parties or some other thing, or people are always going. I know people that have moved there recently, a number of people from California, from my area, at least in Southern California. Mm-hmm. I think I have 3 friends that moved there recently.
Oh wow! I was going to ask, was it any time recently, or was it even longer time ago?
No, recently, within the past couple of years, and then like my Uber driver that I had when I was there, he had moved from Orange County, so it's not the prices are getting higher for everything because a lot of people are wanting to move there. It's still probably less than Southern California, the cost of living and everything, but the prices are definitely rising down there. But people are like attracted to it because if you were in the music business or something, you can still work, and it's more affordable than Southern California.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's beautiful, and then parts of it are beautiful, you know, around there, especially outside of Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
It's really pretty.
All right, I think this is a good time to we can segue into the Kahoot I've made. So I think it's going to be a fun next 10-15 minutes.
Well, what do we win?
I'll tell you at the end.
This is very much like Masterminds in the Game Show Network.
You can say that again.
Okay, all right.
No, alrighty. we knew what the ante was. We just didn't know if we would get paid if we won.
Right.
And then they thought we were going to be taxed on it.
All right. So so everyone, you can go to Kahoot.at.
We have to do that on our phone, right?
Yeah, on your phone.
I was charging my phone. Let me go get my phone.
Okay.
And Kahoot.tv.
IT.it. And
okay, hold on.
Mm-hmm. And the game pin is right there.
Dang, they changed this thing since high school.
Yeah.
All right. And let's see.
I need a pin here. 252
7505.
All right.
Is there a dash or a space?
No, just enter those digits and you should be good to go.
Oh.
Yeah.
I see.
Well, one of the answers better be a Japanese breakfast.
Well, there's a good mix of stuff in there.
All right.
That I can promise you. All right, we're good to go. Let's begin. Yep, Masterminds Part 2. 3, 2.
Mine is loading.
1. All right, so we're going to recap again, and yep, this was right before we all got introduced, and let's start with the first question.
Look at this. This is big time.
Who was not one of the 3 masterminds on our episode?
Oh gosh!
Oh, no,
is it Muffy Morocco? Is
it
it Ryan Chaffee, or is it Jonathan Corbla?
You just showed it in a photo too. I really hope I remember this.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yes.
All right.
So everybody got that one right. So it was Muffy, it was Ryan, and it was Mark Levette, the Beast. So everybody got that right. Let's see. Nice and close to start things off. Let's go to Q2. The current host of Masterminds previously used to host what other GSN quiz show? Is it the Chase? Is it Chain Reaction? Or is it $25,000 Pyramid?
I was looking for Dog Eat Dog.
Yeah, I was too. I'm not gonna lie.
It is the Chase. So Brooke Burns,
Oh.
she used to host the Chase from 2013
Oh.
to 2015. Who got
Oh.
this right?
Not me.
Okay, we have Ferg as leader. 2 questions in, still a lot more to go. Here we go. Q3. Which of these best describes the second round of Masterminds? Is it multiple choice round? Is it buzzer round? Or is it right in round? Yes, it's the right in round. We went through that earlier. All right. Let's go to Q4. In the recently completed season, how many consecutive $10,000 wins did it take in order to become a mastermind? Is it 2? Is it 3? Or is it 4? Everybody got that. It's 2. It used to be 3 in the previous seasons, but it's now 2. Okay, let's go to Q5. Excluding a tiebreaker, last season the Ultimate Trivia Challenge or the bonus round had how many questions? Is it 3? Is it 4? Or is it 5? It is 4. It used to be 5. It's now 4. See who got that one right.
Good to know.
Brian, you didn't know that one?
No, I'm looking for a last place consolation prize.
Hey, if I didn't get it the times I got last, you're not getting one either, okay?
All right.
And good going so far, Chandler.
I'm going to make a comeback.
Well, we have 25 questions total, so
Okay.
there's
Wow.
a lot of time to make them.
All right.
Any chances for me to mess this up?
Q6.
We got this.
When does Brooke have a short in-game chat with the contestants? Is it before round 1, before round 2, or before round 3?
Oh, it's round 3. Shoot.
It's before
No.
round 3.
Yeah.
Round 2 is the right-hand round.
You're right.
When one person gets eliminated and Brooke talks to
that's
the other
right.
2 people.
Yeah.
Brooke did not talk to him bye.
I should have remembered that, but
And only one of us got it right. Good job, Chandler.
I got it right orally after I got it wrong.
All right, so that was the end of the special theme questions. Now it's time to get down to the nitty gritty with some more traditional trivia, mastermind style. Let's go.
All right.
Right.
Q7. Someone who's making a crucial, life-changing decision is said to be standing at a what? Is it an alleyway, a crossroads, or a McDonald's drive-through? Yeah, it is a crossroads, starting off nice and easy. As we go on to Q8. Q8. The keto diet can be best described as low carb and high what? Fat, sugar, or starch? It is high fat and low carb.
Uh-oh.
All right, we got Beth trailing Chandler by a little less than 2,000 points, but there's still a lot of time to go as we move on to Q9. Which of these terms refers to a wide city street with a median and trees on both sides? Is it an avenue, a boulevard, or a parkway?
Okay, so were there trees on Sunset Boulevard? I don't know.
Yeah, it is a boulevard.
Oh,
That is
wow.
that is the strict definition of a boulevard. The top 2 only got that one right. Interesting. So it's there's a bit of a gap between second and third.
We got this, Brian. We got this.
I know, yeah. We're just waiting for the second half.
Q10. What was the last letter added to the English
Ooh.
alphabet? Is it
Holy
J,
smoke.
is it Q, or is it Z?
That's a legit question.
It is.
Yeah.
It is the J. So that was last letter added. We got that
Wow.
right.
I'm going to remember that one. That's a good one.
Ooh, everyone else but Beth got that one right. Interesting.
I just picked
It's
the,
evolved from like the I.
I picked the least likely.
Okay, just a second. As we go on to Q11. Fill in the blank. Ghost Protocol is a blank
Oh,
installment
gosh.
in the Mission Impossible film series. 3rd, 4th, or 5th?
Oh, boy.
It is the 4th installment. So it's
I
MI1,
almost picked that.
MI2, MI3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, Fallout, and Dead Reckoning, which is soon to be released.
Wow. You got this category covered, have I?
Okay, so Ferg is now into second place, not by a whole lot of points, but it is second place. Let's go to Q12. The first foreign coach on the U.S. version of The Voice hails from which country? Is it Ireland, is it Colombia, or is it England?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. You.
Yeah.
It is Colombia. It
That's what
is Shakira.
Shakira.
She was there, and now I think Niall Horan's one of the new coaches. Yeah, and Blake Shelton quit, and I think Reba McEntire replaced him. So, yep, no coaches from the original season. Everyone's new.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't blame him. It's been about 12 years.
Okay, Brian, what's happening?
Chandler, you're
Chandler's tough. No, well, I think we're figuring out why I didn't fly down to be on the show. I made the correct decision.
Surprised I'm doing this well, honestly.
Vindication.
I saved a lot of money by not going. Sometimes the best decisions are the ones you don't make.
Okay, Q13. The acronym PASS is a helpful mnemonic device to remember how to do what? Is it replace a flat tire? Is it file taxes? Or is it use a fire extinguisher?
This is another good one.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you pull the pin, you aim at your target,
Oh.
you squeeze the trigger, and you sweep across. So that's PASS. Fire extinguisher.
Before you know.
I just ran out of the house.
All right, and let's go to Q14. Later overshadowed by the much more famous "Just Do It."
Oh.
In 1977, Nike's first slogan was what? Is it hit the road? Is it the only way is forward?
Wow.
Or is it there's no finish line?
Wow. This is another good one.
Yeah.
I saw the movie Air. This was not
Me too.
This was not in it. They concentrated on 1984.
It is. There is no finish line. As Beth reclaims her second place, we got a game on for sure now. Still,
There's
still
something to
11
be
questions
said for age.
Yeah. Let's go to Q15. As of now, which is the only country aside from the U.S. to land
Wow.
and operate a rover on Mars?
Wow.
Russia, China, or Germany?
Holy smokes. Another good question.
No.
Nope.
Yeah.
It is China. So I don't.
Wow.
So I don't think Russia's. They've put a rover on Mars yet. I mean, they were leading in the space race a few decades ago, but they haven't ventured into here. I mean, they had plans, but they haven't landed anything there.
They'll always have
So I got that right.
I remember there were memes around that time of international battle bots on Mars. So, yeah.
Well, that's clearly very helpful. Yep.
Look at Chandler.
Q16. Which state has speed limits as high as 85
Wow.
miles an hour?
I
Texas,
gotta-
Arizona, or Florida?
I got to go there.
Oh, I hope I'm not confusing this with another state.
Yes.
It is Texas. It is Texas. So, see, everyone got that one right.
I think you have to drive for 2 days to get out of Texas.
And interestingly, Texas has the most counties. So there's that.
Wow.
I think it's like 200 plus counties.
Man, Amaya, you're giving me so much stuff tonight. The alphabet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to use some of this stuff.
I got that question from an old episode, by the way. I mean, I've mixed a few of my own with a few from old episodes.
I think you might have a future as a Jeopardy question writer.
Yeah. He
I
does.
mean, it will be a good side hustle.
Yeah.
No, it's a full-time job.
Q17. He's referred to as
With
His
benefits.
Holiness, but what is Pope Francis' given first name? Is
Oh,
it
my
Jorge? Is it Juan? Or is it Bruno?
Wow. He's from Argentina, I think.
Yeah, his name is Jorge Bergoglio. So, two, if you got that right, who got it right? Well
Doing
done
right.
to Brian and Beth. Good job.
I'm coming for you,
Move
Ferg.
on.
No, this always happens.
Which of these
Oh,
came
boy.
first? Is it sliced bread? Is it M&Ms? Or is it Lifesavers candy?
Oh, this is probably a trick.
Sliced bread's got to go back to like Jesus. That one was something else.
Okay, time is up.
Yes.
It is Lifesavers candy. So sliced bread came around, I think, in the 1920s. M&Ms, I think, around the Great Depression time, And Lifesavers Candy, believe it or not, that was in 1912.
Wow. Okay.
It's close. My mental math was close. I was thinking 1909 for Lifesavers, so I was close.
Mm-hmm. And Brian, you've done well to catch up.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
no,
there's
for-
not much of a gap now between third and fourth.
Well, that's what the drama is here. Who's going to not finish last?
All right, next question. Q19. In spite of their apparent resemblance to canines, which of the
Wow.
following animals are actually more related to cats? Coyotes, hyenas, or jackals?
Oh, I got this wrong. I reached a hyena.
It is the hyena.
Ah, gosh.
Chandler, how did you manage to know that? Is it something you knew
Yeah.
off the top of your head? Or
I just thought hyenas were more feline, so I was surprised they were a choice.
Okay.
Maybe that's just me being bad, but
no, I mean, it worked out. Let's go to Q20. Associated with the release of dopamine, musical frisson is a phenomenon in which music causes you to do what? Is it sing along? Is it get chills? Or does it tap your feet? It is
Yes.
get chills. So it's
Wow. That makes sense. Actually, now.
yeah. When you listen to like your favorite song or whatever, you get chills. That's what it's called.
they're multiplying.
Well. 44 points. Oh, that's between second and third.
Oh, I'm coming for everybody.
On.
Prior to starting their famous ice cream company, Ben Cone and Jerry
wow.
Greenfield
I read this
initially had
before.
plans to sell what? Is it bagels? Is it pizza? Or is it coffee?
I feel like I've read this before, and I can't remember.
It is bagels.
Wow.
So,
Look at Ferg. Look at Ferg out of nowhere.
well, it's a bit of an interesting backstory, but looks like they weren't interested in paying a whole lot for the necessary equipment to make
yeah.
bagels, so they decided to venture into ice cream, and here we are now. Yeah. So we go on to question 22. What is the Roman numeral that represents 1/2? Is it S, is it F, or is it H?
There's one that represents a half.
Yeah, there
Yes.
is.
Yeah,
Man.
you're kidding me.
The more you
Super-
know.
The Super Bowl and a half? That's never happened.
It is S, and we don't see it. We don't see it that often, but
No.
it's usually used by pharmacists. It's like shorthand. So S is 1/2 for dosage. Apparently, One of- who got this
all
right?
all mine come from the Super Bowl. So there's never been an S. There's never been a half a Super Bowl.
Wait, Chandler, was that something you knew, or
Yes, I once
Wow.
wrote a dumb question, like Price is Right themed question of which Roman numeral equivalent doesn't appear in the name of any pricing game, and there's a pricing game named Half Off. So
Oh wow. Okay.
My gosh.
Hmm.
Ringer.
Question 23. Which of these was not a reason for canceling
Wow.
a Wimbledon tennis tournament?
Of course, this
Is it a
would be
war?
question.
Is it a natural disaster? Or is it a pandemic?
Well, we know it's not the pandemic.
do we though?
Oh no, that was they cracked the British Open. I think they canceled Wimbledon.
I don't
as well.
know.
I went. Yes.
Yep. So during World War I,
Oh.
World War II, it was canceled, and obviously in 2020 the COVID
Oh,
pandemic
gosh.
canceled Wimbledon. So that leaves natural disaster. 2 if you got it
Yeah.
right. Who got it right?
You're darn right. I got it right.
And I'm now
Well,
you pulled ahead of me.
It's okay, Beth. There's still time.
Not much.
Two more questions to go. Two more
All
questions to go.
All right.
Okay,
Oh,
what is
no.
the term for the rich mixture of chocolate and whipped cream that is often used for cake frosting?
I'm
Is it ganache? Is it fondant? Or is it mascarpone?
I work in a kitchen and I don't know this. Crap.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
Food Network has me.
I think someone forgot to answer.
Yeah, I didn't answer in time. I just
Okay.
couldn't. Yeah.
Food Network saving me there.
You know what? One question to go. It's the final questions for all the marbles.
All right.
Q25. In an attempt to cover all their
Oh, I know
bases,
this.
iTunes terms explicitly forbid you from using the service to do what? Is it defraud foreign governments? Is it traffic in endangered species? Or is it design nuclear weapons?
I didn't read the terms of service.
I'm picking the one that I think's the most fun.
It is design nuclear weapons. Three of you got it right. Let's take a look at the podium.
Really? Well,
Yes! Look at that.
what are you gonna do?
Oh, man.
Some of those last ones were tricky. I'll give that. Those last couple.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun, though. I mean, you have to give them
Yes.
by credit. I mean, they all can't be
some
good.
hard questions.
Yeah. And good ones. I'm
Yeah.
going to remember the alphabet. What were some of the
Half.
other
I'm gonna remember Roman numeral
Yes,
half.
S. I can beat anybody with those. Yeah, after a while, do I send us the link to it so we can study this and become experts?
Yeah. I did know
Yeah,
ganache because you
everyone's
use
gonna get
ganache
it.
to make truffles, and I just made truffles.
Oh,
Oh,
And,
nice.
and also I'm a Francophile, so that
Yeah.
was a slam dunk.
Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, I think the let's see. I'm trying to see which ones I got from an old episode. So, yeah, the
The la-
keto diet. The the last letter one. That was actually a question on the final round of Switch. I don't know how many of you watch Switch here. It's one of the new game shows on the Ancient Network.
Not often.
Not often.
It just feels too slow. Just
Yeah,
the front
okay.
game's too slow for my taste.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, and let's see, if I want to go through the remainder, the 85 miles an hour, that was straight from an
Texas.
episode. And let's see,
I know the last question with the iTunes, that was stolen from Millionaire. I remember that question from Millionaire.
yes, I got that
Yeah.
one. I got from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
so it says
So,
in terms of service,
yeah,
no,
I've
no,
picked
no
a handful
nuclear
from here and
weapon.
there.
Yeah.
It says that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but yeah, in fact, I spent I think all of yesterday getting this whole thing set up.
Wow.
Tested it a couple times,
Our gratitude. My gosh.
and
Yeah.
and it's worked out so perfectly. So it was so you were all the guinea pigs, and it was pretty fun.
No one else.
Yeah.
I joke around people. I mean, you put a lot of time into this, and we're grateful. I mean, it
Mhm.
brightens up our Sunday evening, and I knew you put time. I didn't realize it was a full day process. So thank you.
That's
Yeah,
great.
it was. The masterminds questions were not hard. I mean, I just watched a bit of our episode and just made like a few themed questions. But yeah, all the others. I have like a massive stash of like 1,000+ questions from a whole bunch of different game shows I've watched. So I just decided which ones to pick and choose.
You know, it's great. All
I think
your
the fire
questions-
extinguisher was one I wrote on my own.
Okay. No, that's all your questions have correct answers. See, Beth, you don't know this. We've been playing trivia online for a long time, and we play these low budget things where they're giving away money and they can't even get the questions right, or the answers right, and then a buy has to
Wow.
bombard them on Twitter, and they don't care, But seriously, what was that one? What was that one app where you offered to write their questions? They were so bad.
Oh, it was display trivia. It
Yes,
was
yes. A buy wrote them like this big long form letter, and
Wow.
and they just didn't care. And but I joked. I told a buy. I said, "You're just one man." And also, he does. Beth, he'll send trivia out each day on the Instagram, and tell her about.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, is this person alive or dead or British or? And it really makes you think. And again, they all have correct answers. That's the key.
Mhm.
Buy writes questions that have correct answers. Imagine that.
Have you ever thought about doing your own app?
I actually know how to code a bit, but I may need help from like a couple of others to set it up. But I mean, it would be fun to do.
It seems like it would be a great synergy for you. A good
Yeah.
thing for you with your skill set and your interests and everything.
hmm
And
Yeah, it
clearly,
was,
you do a better job than the other people you're mentioning. So,
Yes. Yeah.
Any chance you've played HQ Trivia?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this entire group was founded through HQ.
Oh wow! Yes, I
Yeah.
used to do that years ago. Yeah.
And it would happen though. It was like millions of people were playing, and then it went
Mhm.
bankrupt. They came back, and that's when we all linked together because they had this. You could follow your friend's answers, and these guys are smarter than me. And also the key is they are Google masters. So they they can get the answers. And we had a tremendous amount of fun. But that app now is like every other app has gone belly up. But the good thing is we're all still friends. They brought us together.
That's great. I love that
Yeah,
story.
exactly.
That's great.
The app, yeah, like
That's great.
I think Ferg and Chandler were like in high school when we met, and now they're like 37 years old.
Wow.
No, they're a little, not that old. Yeah.
No, but that's great. That's
No,
great
it
that you
was.
kept it up and everything, and then you met
Yeah.
that way. That's awesome.
And it was a buy. He kept on stalking me on Twitter. It was ridiculous. Well, maybe how he stalked you on Instagram. I mean,
Well, how did you even remember my last name? How did you
See,
know?
look at this guy.
How did you find me?
Yeah, as I said, I mean, it's always nice to make new friends. I mean, whether
How did you find her?
I mean, I
I'm
did
not gonna tell you
remember. I mean, I did remember like names of a lot of people who competed alongside.
Well, you because you have that aptitude for names, so that's why.
Yeah.
That's why.
Mhm.
You know.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Beth, you were also taken back. So what's going on here? And then you figured it out. For me, I didn't know the guy. He kept on sending me all these tweets that, can I be your friend or something like that? And finally, because that's the thing, he had the disadvantage. We had people on HQ that were cheating in India, and I thought he was in India. He's down the street from me. I'm up here in Fairfield. He's in Pleasanton. And he's just the nicest guy ever. But as I said, I thought he was one of these guys. Chandler was like the guy trying to bust everybody that was like cheating. And I thought, okay, we got one guy right here, this Abai, and Abai was the most legit guy out there, So it's crazy. And so I finally said yes, and we've been friends ever since.
That's
and
great. I
we've
love
been
that.
hosting
That's
like
great.
these shows like on a regular basis.
Yeah, periodically. Yeah, no. And we did this one with this app called Tally Up. It was a smaller app, and it became part of their staff meeting, and they made us like advisors on the
Oh,
yeah.
that's great. I
Yeah.
love that. That's great.
because then there's other ones we do, and the people just don't even care.
Yeah.
I forget. We tried to give advice to something, and they just don't care. And, it was fun, and as I said, to meet somebody like you, I remember you from the show there, and as I said, Abai brought us all together. Brought you, yes, fantastic.
And I appreciate that. That was fun. This has been great. This has been great, and kind of seeing how that whole other universe. I'm a writer, professional writer,
Right.
so
Oh.
I'm very interested in like different universes, how people just kind of gather according to their
Mhm.
interests. That's something that always fascinated me.
Do you write books?
I do marketing content. I write.
Oh.
I'm a journalist, but I do. I've
Right.
been doing marketing content for a long time because
I
that's
gotcha.
where the money is.
Yes, okay, I got you,
The
yes.
money is kind of drying
Right,
up. I had to
right,
figure out a way
yeah.
to make it work. So
So it'd be like
I still do like freelance and
right.
things like that. But
So
gotta
it'd
pay
be
the
like
bills.
it'd be like
So
sure.
you got to find the way to do that nowadays.
So just give me an
But
example.
yeah, I would like to write a book. Yes, I have a lot of books in me, but
So it's like the whole
marketing content
campaign.
pays the bills and whatever.
I got you. So what is like a marketing campaign like?
I work for a legal advertising agency, but I worked in a lot of different verticals. So I worked for Hilton. I worked for
Right, I got you.
a lot of different real estate. I worked in a lot of different areas, healthcare. But I for the
Right.
past 5 or 6 years, I've been working for a legal advertising agency. So I'm responsible for the marketing, for laying out, introducing new products that my company offers and services.
Yeah,
And then I also
gotcha.
do the company part. And then I also was doing a lot of copywriting for law firms. So in the consumer facing law space.
Right.
But it's like, that's one of the things I actually love, which I guess is why I like trivia, is because I love finding a new universe and just like being thrown in there and then I have to figure it out. Like that's for me, like where the rubber hits the road. I love that. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, I'm here. I'm gonna have to figure out learn everything I can about law and move on. Right. And
Yeah, I got
just
you.
get in there.
It's
So
wonderful.
it's fun.
No, but
You get
these
to learn
guys are-
something new every day.
These guys are all young. The key is you find a job that pays the bills.
Yeah. Well, I
Exactly.
think, I went back to work, and that's actually something that I want to write a book about eventually. I was home with my kids for a long time, and then I went back to work after I, got divorced, and I had to kind of reboot my career. And I had written before, and then I just figured out, like, you have to figure out a way, like, what do you do well? What's your experience, and where's the market? So you have to
Okay.
find out where
Yeah.
those things meet, and then that's how you do it, because you don't want to do something like, I don't want to do something that I hated. Like, I love going to work. Like, I love working, and I turn away jobs. Like, I'm like, for a while I had like 4 different, because people come to me and they're like, can you do this for me? And I'm just like, yeah, I cannot work 24 hours a day. It's not working for me anymore, but like, but I feel blessed to be able to do something I enjoy. every day. It doesn't feel like work, really.
You know, I can relate to the writing part. Is fun. I mean, it's fun. It's funny because in high school I really didn't enjoy writing, and then in college, like I had some time on my hand, and then that's when I decided to take up writing as a hobby, like it combined like with one of my passions. I mean, I think Beth probably remembers from one of my conversations. Huge cricket fan here, and I did manage to get interviews with a lot of players. I think the most high profile one was a guy who actually currently plays internationally for New Zealand, and that would have been what I would have spoken about in round 3 if all 3 contestants were.
I do remember that. I do remember that.
Well, Beth hasn't eliminated you. Beth, you prevented America from learning more about cricket. And I appreciate no cricket questions, and I thought there was going to be a Wimbledon question. I was ready, but
but they had to learn about my like language thing because I love languages. So I studied a lot of languages, and then when I started watching Korean dramas, my cousin had turned me on to them, and like in a short time, I was like, I could tell her all these words, and she's like, "How do you know that?" I'm like, I don't know. I just watched them, and then I figured out what it meant, like with the context, and then I started like learning Korean. I taught myself the alphabet, and I started doing different things like that. So
the other thing,
interesting. You may find like Bollywood movies interesting too. I don't know if you've watched any, but okay. But yeah, and Brian, going back to your mention of cricket. In fact, they're actually hosting a tournament in the U.S. here, and there's actually 2 franchises, one in San Francisco and one in LA, and I think the San Francisco franchise we won our game yesterday. So I watched most of that game, so it was pretty fun.
I thought you were writing questions yesterday.
Well,
no.
He can multitask.
I do a lot of different things.
No, that's great. No, they said no bias. I say I definitely. If there's any tennis or golf, those are, you have to, if you do one of those quizzes, you have to know about that. So and cricket, but actually the cricket you just talk about, you never give us a cricket question. You can take pity on us.
Yeah, I try to keep it mostly U.S. centric, right? Yeah. But who knows? Maybe in a later quiz, I might just throw one in there.
Sure.
So the only two cricket teams franchises are going to be only in San Francisco and Los Angeles, or are they?
There are 2 in California. There are a bunch of others.
Two in California, but there's in other states. Okay.
Yeah.
So would they compete internationally, or they just do it in the United States?
Well, it's home and away games, right? So yeah.
Well, here's the question.
Interesting.
And it's like the first most high profile event that's being hosted in here. So
wow.
Yeah. What
interesting.
So here's the question, because we'll know the answer then. You can say, where is cricket played in California? San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego. And we'll know the answer is San Francisco. Or it could be Los Angeles as well. Yes. Yeah. You prepped us.
Do you think colleges and universities will have cricket teams, or is just like intramural kind of thing? Do you think it'll ever catch on, like lacrosse?
Some do, some don't. Yeah, it's not as big as obviously other sports.
Like rugby, like there's certain sports that really, rugby and lacrosse come to mind, but and even soccer wasn't really a big deal years ago here in the U.S.
And now there's Christian Pulisic, who's a international superstar. I mean, he's played a few years for Chelsea. Now I think he's going to play for AC Milan. So, U.S. soccer has really come a long way.
Well, they had a tweet said they had everyone here know who Messi is. Beth Cone Messi. So anyway, so he's one of the best players. He won the World Cup with Argentina. He's older now, and so he went. I don't know where he was last year. Maybe in Paris. He signed with Miami, whatever, FC Miami, and so. There's a photo of him at the supermarket checking out, nobody bothering him. And so the quote was, make millions of dollars, playing against inferior competition, living in a nice city, and you can walk around and nobody bothers you. It looks like Lionel Messi made the right call. Because
Isn't David Beckham on part of that team?
Yes, Beckham owns that team. Exactly.
That's right.
And so Beckham might people might recognize Beckham more than they recognize Messi,
Yeah.
which is classic. Like Messi, when he was with Barcelona, he probably couldn't go anyplace. When he was with Paris Saint-Germain, he couldn't probably, he could go somewhere, but in Miami, he could just walk into the supermarket.
And David Beckham, even though he was very famous from soccer, maybe he upped his profile with being married to a Spice Girl.
Yes,
True. Yeah.
That might have been part of it.
Yeah, Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was.
I mean, it's
rumor
really
going around,
nice
I
because then
think,
it's not as like, I
yeah.
feel like it's not as, American centric. It's nice to see Americans sort of embrace other countries and not really. I think that America is like the center of the universe. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there was rumor going around that Messi may have signed for some team in Saudi Arabia. There's another rumor going around that he may have stuck with PSG, or possibly even returned to FC Barcelona. But this move really blew me out of the water. I mean, I wasn't expecting it, and it happened.
Neither was anybody at that Safeway in Miami.
Yeah.
He walked in.
No. Well, what was it? Wasn't there is a sport where I think like a Saudi fund or one of those funds, Dubai fund,
the golf
put money into something?
Yeah,
The golf fund?
Yeah,
Golf.
For golf for years.
Oh, golf, that's right.
It was the PGA, which was the only league. And then they started one called Live. And so then it was the whole time the PGA mantra was, don't go to Live. That money is dirty. That's Saudi, money. They kill people in Saudi Arabia. And some people went, and they were ongoing, fighting for 2 years. And then in the middle of the night, they didn't even tell Tiger Woods. They didn't even tell anybody. They merged.
Wow.
And so that was a bombshell about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And so, that it was, all these players, and there were no cuts. So these guys that just were average players became millionaires by going to this other league. And so that was it. The Saudi, all the Saudi money. Yeah. So that could be another question. Why?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, it was. Wow, it's been beyond an hour, but it was nice.
This is great. Thank you for having me. This is great. I really enjoyed it.
I think we can go once around the room. Parting statements. Beth, we can start with you, and then we can go. Yeah.
Well, thank you for having me. It was really fun catching up and being beaten. I don't know if it was so much fun being beaten. Competing till the last part, right? And I look forward to seeing what you do next.
Chandler?
Yeah, I really don't have much else to add besides thank you, Beth, for coming out here. And it's always a pleasure talking to someone else who's, loves game shows.
All right, Ferg.
Yeah, I'm a pretty busy individual, so the fact that I could make it in tonight with very few things kind of bothering me tonight. I won't say bothering, but, trying to interfere tonight was pretty nice, to get to meet Beth. That was pretty awesome, too. And it's always a pleasure when I get the chance to be down here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just fun. As I said, something that started on the internet. It continues thanks to Abai. Brings us all together. We spend half an hour, hour and a half just shooting the breeze, having fun. That was fun. I would thank him. Thank everybody. It's nice to meet Beth. It's nice to hear Beth. I'm glad you have a voice,
Yes.
Beth.
Yes. That was a little touch and go for a while. It took
Exactly.
clear up my technical.
Yeah, no. So it was fun. And I'll go back to Abai, but thank you everybody. Thank you Abai.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to round things off. I mean, it was the first things first. I mean, the fact that this entire meeting became a reality is a great thing in itself. I mean, it's always great to catch up with game show superfans, especially fellow competitors too. I think it's been a really fun hour, fun quiz, fun everything, and who knows? I mean, we can catch up again and do it all over again. It'll be exciting.
This time I'll study. Yep. Maybe I won't.
and of course, shout out to everyone. It's been a blast. Yep. Thanks. Take care, everyone.
Yes, thanks, you too. Bye-bye.